So we are now live, everybody.
Nice. Okay. So last session, you guys completed the third day, so the day before the event itself, the auction itself. Got a lot done. You guys robbed the phone of Anvil, copied it, and then replaced it. There was a weird little bit where 7D had relations with Anvil just to keep him busy, I think. You broke in of an evening for the locks of the cabinets that the bottles are in the vault. You got that information that they were in the vault cabinet from the architect that you old school bullied on roller skates. And then finally, you also biosculpted yourself. Well, serial killer and hero biosculpted themselves as the known vault security, Johnny and Bob, before killing them, I think, in an alleyway. They both died, didn't they?
Yes.
Because you couldn't let them get away. So a little bit of murder. And that brings us to what is effectively the kind of the day itself. So you guys have a current plan that I will let you detail. Again, what I will say is there's some things that your characters know by nature of the last couple of days. So gear shift, you know that you have to be on site for 7 p.m. sharp. You've been provided the uniform that you bribed from. Simple kind of black trousers, black shoes, white shirt, black bow tie, waiter.
Yeah, absolutely. Gear shift is going to make sure he arrives 15 minutes before, because that's actually on time. On time is late. Late is you're done.
Nice. Yeah, totally fine. And for serial killer and hero, you know that security crossover is at 8 p.m. So you'd be looking to do your crossover at that time. But I'll let you guys detail the ideal full plan, with the big gap that you have no real idea other than these start times about when guests are arriving or how many guests or what the fucking play is at all. So what's the current plan? Don't all rush.
I mean, I'm
Well,
Hero is waiting until 7 or 8. I think you said 8, right? So he's waiting until 8.
Yeah,
and
you
then
guys
he's
say
walking in.
Yeah. I'm more meant for just a benefit of a recap, the plan of the heist. When thinking the heist films, you are still sat around the drawing board, so to speak. Maybe it's a physical drawing board, and there's generally someone explaining the best case scenario of the heist. So your plan, best case scenario, as you would like it to go through, the plan as we currently stand is. So I believe it starts with getting a cart inside the building. That's the first plan, right?
Well, if he goes
absolutely.
first, then that would be Then if he comes in at 7, then he would go first.
Let's start with the cart. Where does it reside?
I feel like at the top, right? The car would definitely be ready, prepared already in the combat cab. Or the van. I'm pretty sure we had her give us a van or something like that. But it would be in the
outside. You have seen catering vans. You could. Well, actually, yeah. So outside, you've seen catering vans, but they're not yours. There hasn't been a car provided. You've got a car. it's probably not big enough to fit a cart, not like one of those roller carts. But so you'd want it on site somewhere, at least, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, he did go in the day prior,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly. So, if it's okay, I can use a flash of luck if need be, since I didn't
Mm-hmm.
state it. That like he would have placed the cart like somewhere at the job site, probably tucked behind some boxes, maybe underneath the staircase, behind a
I think that's
dumpster,
fair.
whatever.
I think that's fair to say. I don't need the flash of luck because, to me, that flash of luck is like stuff that we. To me, it goes without saying. That like, what's the point? We went to all of the effort of getting a cart. What's the point in it not being on site and being at the Forlorn Hope? It just doesn't make sense. So to me, to say you stashed it nearby, totally fine. It's like there's a side alley. There's a back and front door to this location. Having it in a side alley somewhere, maybe under some boxes that you can get hold of, totally fine. And then you just bring the whiteware, so the tablecloth,
Absolutely.
go over it, etc.
And Gear Shift would give 7D a 5 minute 6:55 right before 7, give her a location of the alleyway and how to get to it.
Oh, nice. So the plan is that 7D is going to be in this cart for potentially an exponential amount of hours until she's told to come out.
Oh no, it was only a few minutes before, if that was okay. He was basically telling her to come beforehand. If not, he could just bring her himself, and drop her off near the car.
Yeah, you guys can get there whenever. You said you were getting there 15 minutes, so 7D coming with you, totally fine. But
perfect.
Presumably, I don't need to check that. It would be very strange for catering to be arriving at the point that guests were arriving.
Yeah.
Generally, obviously, you have some preamble, right? So my question is are you going straight into the cart job, or is the cart existing outside for a little while until you deem it correct to go out and try and get her in?
The latter.
The latter. So
the latter.
So in my mind, 7D is outside in the combat cab. The cart is nearby, both of which are nearby to the alleyway, and your gear shift is going into at 6:45, arriving ready for his shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And the car is kind of tucked to where it's not visible, in line of sight from the building, and guests arriving and workers coming out, shit like that.
So it's a little ways away. It wouldn't be I'm not talking 10-minute walk, but definitely it's not parked at the back door. It's not within a double move of the back door.
Exactly. He just doesn't want to be seen arriving with 7D.
Yeah. I'm with you, totally fine. And I would have said in the early scouting range where you spent the fucking day looking at the building, watching the comings and goings, whilst we described it as all in the car, throughout that day you probably had a walk around, even if it was just to stretch your legs, walking down the side alley, seeing where you could put a vehicle that's nearby. The important thing there is it's not smack bang outside of the door.
Word. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's totally fine. Okay, so you're going to arrive early. Before we drill down into that, Heron, what's your you as Heron? Obviously, you're also playing serial killer, but you as Heron, your plan, from my understanding, is to be on the roof and to be ready to
if shit goes down, then I can provide fire support and be a scary solo.
And at what time are you getting on the roof?
Probably fairly early, before a lot of people get there,
Well, you've got no idea what time people are getting there. You've got no idea what time this party starts. No one's had an invite. That's the only information you guys didn't get from last time.
Yeah. Then not knowing when people would get there, probably just fairly early in the morning,
So you're camping on the
Oh.
roof, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I will be a roof camper.
So let's pull back a little bit then, and we'll say on one of the time is irrelevant, but preamble to the arrival of Gear Shift, with you being on the roof, keeping a kind of general eye out. It's quite a large building from my understanding of like the description. The roof, obviously, if we have a look at roll 20, which I will send the link to. I realised I didn't do that. Sorry. Here we go. The right-hand side of the roof, top right-hand quarter, if you will, of the building, has a skylight. The rest of it will have ventilation shafts, etc., etc. I believe that there is a back door to the top right of this building, with the front door being bottom left. Again, if we're looking at here is the front door over here, and here is the back door. So we are going to say that there is an alleyway that runs down the side and wraps round to running round behind all of these buildings. Because we'll remember that this one's adjacent to another building, which I can't remember what it was called, but should it come up, I can let you know. There is a fire escape on the back of this building, which you have made your way up as you look down the alleyway. Currently, you spot a guard, but I'm assuming you're not going up I'm assuming you're not going up the fire escape. You know that it is security or 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I just got this grapple gun from my good friend Hero, so I have the freedom to go up a less secured side of the building if one exists.
Nice. So you're going to grapple up, totally fine. You're up there for a good couple of hours before I need a perception check, please.
Totally.
Audio, if that helps.
Audio perception. That does not help, but let me see. Okay, gotcha. It's a 24.
Oh, amazing. So you hear a radio squelch, the as someone sort of talks into a radio. Honestly, I don't know why we have to fucking check the roof. It just feels like you're kind of making me to be busy. But yeah, I'm going upstairs. You can hear some clanging of metal as someone is walking up the fire escape. What do? Do you on this roof is the things you would expect from the roof of a building. There are large external condenser units for the aircon, just like the big fans as well.
Yeah. Well, I got a bit of a heads up hearing that he's coming up.
Certainly did.
Yeah, can I guess I would just try to dive behind some